When I start paying my bills at the house, I'll start working. Some of that's media driven.
You reckon?
Kill the horns is gonna hurt.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Time to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Khan.
Here.
Commissioner Cordell.
Here.
Commissioner Fowler. Here. Commissioner Lockwood.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Mayor Black.
Let's have an invocation. Dear God and Father in heaven, we are grateful and thankful once again for your mercy upon each and every one of our citizens here in the town of Ranlo. As we have this meeting tonight in these odd circumstances, we do pray your security upon our citizens, upon this meeting. We pray, God, that you will be with us, help us make sound decisions, understanding that our decisions affects the whole town. Lead us and guide us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, first item is the adoption of the agenda. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? So carried. Next is comments from the attendees on our call-in number.
There is no one registered, Mr. Mayor. I would just ask for a motion to approve the March 4th Commission's regular and public hearing.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt or approve the March 12th
Okay.
regular meeting and also the public hearing meeting minutes.
Have a second?
Second?
All in favor? So carried. All right, town manager's presentation of Town of Ranlo's fiscal 2020-2021 budget message.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor and Board of Commissioners, as the Town of Ranlo's budget officer and town manager, I'm pleased to present for your consideration the manager and staff's recommended budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. The recommended budget balance is at $3,770,000. Let's try that one more time. $3,770,600. The recommended budget consists of a general fund budget of $2,077,850, a POW bill budget of $154,400, a stormwater budget of $27,000, and a utility fund budget of $1,511,350. The recommended budget requires a $140,250 fund balance appropriation for the general fund budget, a $53,400 fund balance appropriation for the POW bill fund budget, and a $93,350 fund balance for the utility fund budget. The allocation required from the fund balance for the general fund is an approximate 66% decrease from the prior fiscal year. For the utility fund, the fund balance allocation is approximately 21% less than the prior fiscal year, and an approximate 54% decrease from the prior fiscal year for the POW bill fund. These numbers will be reflected based on the decisions that we made in the prior special budget meeting. In a collaborative effort, the recommended budget was prepared over a 6-week period amongst the town staff, coupled with direction and governing input from the Ranlo Board of Commissioners. Due to limited meeting options because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the recommended budget was completed with one-on-one meetings between the town manager and department heads, as well as electronic briefing updates via email with the board. At the conclusion and revision of 4 drafts, a robust budget was produced focusing on progression, preparation, and planning. In ever-changing times, it is important that the town consistently work towards moving our community forward in a prepared and professional manner. With the continued growth of our citizenry and growth of our region, the need for additional resources and maintenance of current resources will be inevitable in the upcoming year. The recommended budget is prepared with a mindfulness of recognizing the importance of being progressive, prepared, and planned. The recommended budget provides for numerous investments in order to ensure that the town remains committed to not only embracing progress, but to be able to successfully handle that progress. Of the most notable signs of progress is the continued growth of new Ranlo residents. New residents equate to new challenges for the town, including additional calls for service to the police department, additional demands on the public works department, and more depreciation of the town's roads. In order to manage and support the challenges of this progress, The recommended budget includes several notable investments. These include a $25,000 investment in an additional police vehicle, $80,000 in repairs to our streets and highways, and the inclusion of one additional police personnel and one additional public works employee. These investments will support recent and upcoming progress in the town by providing necessary tools to provide quality and superior services to the town and the town's residents. Next, the recommended budget seeks to prepare the town for necessary and comprehensive utility infrastructure needs. For example, $15,000 is allocated to ensure the town is a competitive applicant for the asset inventory and assessment grant from the Division of Water Infrastructure. This allocation will serve as the basis of a 10% grant equating to $150,000 for the town to analyze and prepare for underground infrastructure needs. Also, in order to further be prepared for long-term needs and rehabilitation, the recommended budget relies on a restructured utility billing system. Under this restructured plan, residents will only pay for actual water/wastewater used, with rates gradually increasing with increased usage. Unfortunately, the town maintains an aged water and wastewater system with ongoing and consistent problems that require additional funding above what is currently being garnered with levy rates. Furthermore, the provider for the town's water and wastewater treatment, the city of Gastonia, is implementing a 5% increase on the town beginning July 1, 2020 for these services. The town must be prepared to continue to upgrade our aging lines and sustain planned increased rates from our provider. The restructured utility billing system will help increase revenue in a fair and gradual manner, ensuring those who use the least are not disproportionately bearing the burden of an overall increase, and by encouraging water conservation. This, of course, will be discussed further at length at the adoption of the fee schedule in June or July. Lastly, the recommended budget forges a path to a planned future. External variables have played a big part in shaping the future for the town. The volunteer fire department is vacating their shared space at Town Hall, while the police department is outgrowing their designated shared space at Town Hall. The Ranlo Lodge continues to depreciate due to normal wear and tear and continued community usage, and our town-owned water tower stands blighted due to weather conditions. The recommended budget invests $50,000 to plan for renovation and bold initiatives to explore repurposed options for Town Hall and the police department, while $20,000 is designated to develop a certified plan and further rehabilitation efforts at the Ranlo Lodge, and $50,000 is allocated to restore and repurpose the Ranlo Water Tower. These efforts in the recommended budget will yield a threefold plan to move Ranlo in a positive and forward trajectory. In conclusion, the recommended budget is balanced and prepared in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes 159-11. No tax increases are provided for, and only minor increase in a tiered utility structure and increased garbage fees are suggested in the recommended budget. The town of Ranlo is and always has been built with pride, and this recommended budget will proudly demonstrate a commitment to progressing, preparing, and planning. The public hearing on this budget is scheduled to be held during the June 11, 2020 regular monthly Ranlo Board of Commissioners meeting at 7 p.m. Any person wishing to make comments or ask questions may do so at the public hearing prior to the adoption of the budget ordinance. The recommended budget will be available for public review at Ranlo Town Hall during normal business hours and on the town's website. Notice of the availability of the document and the scheduled public hearing will be published in the Gastonia Gazette in the upcoming days. It is with the sincerest gratitude and appreciation that I, as budget officer and town manager, respectfully submit and recommend the proposed budget to the Ranlo Board of Commissioners today, May 8th, 2020. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Plant. All right, next item number 7, discussion of the disposal of surplus town property. The town manager is requiring that the board authorize the town manager to work with the staff to surplus all unneeded miscellaneous town personnel property valued at least $30,000 under and requirements described by North Carolina General Statutes 160A-266C. The board will need a vote on this action.
And just as clarification, Mr. Mayor, this action will allow me to work with department heads of this agreement with Chief of Police to ensure that miscellaneous items that are no longer needed, that are stored here in the town, can be disposed of under a matter that is allowed under general statute. This will prevent the need to have to come to the board with every single small item that is needed, but it will require me to make a report to all of you at the conclusion of the disposal of that surplus property. So this is just to expedite the measure to be able to get rid of some things that are no longer needed, that are no longer of value and move forward in a more efficient manner with, of course, you all being made aware of everything that is sold, that is transferred, and that is surplus.
Are we planning an auction, somewhere on this site?
We're looking at the option of doing an on-site auction and perhaps going for a GovDeals online auction. That's been very beneficial to other municipalities that they put things online and have sold from far and away. So I would like to first start off by doing an inventory of what we have, coming up with a list, potential value, the smaller things, either scrapping or surplus and phenomenal value, and then planning a larger auction to be held, I would hope later this summer.
I'll make a motion that we move forward to have a list.
And a second, all in favor? So carried. Next item, number 8, discussion and review of the audit contract. Mr. Black.
Absolutely. Mr. Carrick provides a scope of work. Eddie Carrick is a CPA out of Lexington that conducts Bessemer City's audits as well as other municipalities. He feels confident that he can have the 16-17 audit complete by hopefully the end of June, 18-19 by the end of July, and then 19-20 into August and September based on his availability and his time. This audit contract is only for 16-17. He has sent a list of things that he'll need to complete this audit, and it should be done hopefully within the next 45 to 60 days. It needs to be approved, and the mayor and myself will need to sign it. It is for a total of $15,000 for this particular audit.
I'll make a motion, we move forward with this audit.
I'll second.
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
are we paying Collins also to do this audit? Because if they were doing it,
Correct. No, they have entered into a release with the town where they will return our documents and no fees will be assessed to the town. I submitted that documentation to the local government commission. They have approved the release of that, and they are comfortable with us moving forward with Mr. Carrick.
Okay, all in favor? 100%, so carried. Next item on the agenda, item number 9, discussion and approval of revised meeting schedule.
With the cancellation of the April meeting and the rescheduling of the May meeting, I have produced a revised meeting schedule that's reflective of the rest of the year remaining as it is on the second Thursday, but only making adjustments for that April meeting and this May meeting.
make a motion that we approve the meeting schedule?
And a second. Second, you got a second, all in favor? So carried. And, item number 10, review of the payment plan for the water and wastewater services, subject to the executive order 124.
Mr. Mayor, the governor's office and School of Government have recommended a payment plan for all delinquent water and sewer accounts. No late fees are being levied, and they are requiring that we offer assistance to residents to help them through this difficult time. This is the standard form that's been provided with the School of Government. It also requires a provision that we will work with individual customers on an as-needed, case-by-case basis.
We need to set up a fund that where people can donate to, perhaps.
If there were some outside third parties that had an interest in helping, then we would certainly be open to that. I actually received a call from a local pastor a couple weeks ago wanting to help. I assured him that I would be in touch when things began to stabilize, when I was able to assess if there was a need. But there has been an outpouring, or not an outpouring, but several people that have offered to help. So that is certainly something we can look at and would welcome in the future once we're able to assess the situation.
All right, thank you very much.
Question real quick, Mr. Lynn. Do we know the amount of delinquent water bills as a result of this?
We do. We're required, well, up until this week, we've been required to report them to the Utilities Commission so as to be able to maybe be eligible for FEMA reimbursement for statewide reimbursement. I do not have that number off the top of my head, Mr. Travis, but I can certainly get it for you. It is not an excessive number based on my last count, but we have been required to report that every Wednesday. So that should be readily available to me to provide for you. And I love you first next week.
I have a question. Is the FEMA reimbursed for that?
Mhm.
Does that mean that the residents do not have to pay it back?
The FEMA reimbursement would be for any late fees that we incurred. So we are required to report to the Utilities Commission how many residents that are delinquent. That way we have a rough estimate of how much revenue we've lost in late fees from people that are generally late, that pay those late fees based on the projections that we had in the budget. And those that are not normally late, it's something out of the ordinary that they are experiencing undue hardship. That would likely be where the FEMA money would come in, but that's still up in the air right now with everything that's going on.
So, we have any action on this?
I would like, approval of the policy just for,
Make a motion to approve the policy.
I'll second
We
that.
have a second here, all in favor? So carried. All right, you have a report?
I just wanted to briefly, give the board and the public a few updates on a few things. I don't have a, per se detailed report on department by department. The police chiefs provided a, informational handout to all of you for calls answered. I would like to have a detailed discussion on the finances for the 2019-2020 year budget in June, where I have shifted some money around between departments to balance out the current budget that we have. I'll have a year-to-date actual report for you in June, so I can show you where money is that we haven't expended that we need to transition over in order to be balanced. So I will have a detailed report for all of you and recommended budget amendments in June for finance. Public Works, of course, has been shorthanded because of the pandemic and by the fact that we have not been able to utilize the prisoners. So I would like to thank the public for their patience and their cooperation. It's been difficult, but the guys have done an excellent job getting around best that they can, working a lot of long hours, working a lot of difficult situations. So I really appreciate their hard work, and I appreciate the residents' patience. Parks and Recreation, we are hoping to open up the playgrounds as soon as we can, but the Center for Disease Control has recommended that we do not open up in phase 1 of Governor Cooper's order. So we will continue to monitor that and assess accordingly. I had a very productive conversation with Senator Harrington today. She was making me aware of the roughly $4 million that will be coming to Gaston County from aid for the state. She assures me that that money will be allocated accordingly to municipalities within the next 30 days. So I will have an update based on the amount of money that Ranlo will get out of that $3.9 million that's been allocated out of Raleigh. Lastly, I had a very productive meeting and conversation with Mr. Larry Simons today. He had asked that I share with the board his desire to put a "Welcome to Ranlo, We Care" sign on his property up here at Wild Horse Auto Sale. So I did want to share that with all of you. It will be on his property, and I think that it will be a great addition. It will certainly be a welcoming feel to one of the busiest intersections here in town. So we certainly appreciate Mr. Simons' generosity and certainly appreciate his willingness to be involved in our community and having his business here in our community. And just lastly, I did want to report the mayor and I had a great time Sunday at Ranlo Church of God as we ordained our police department chaplain. So we appreciate the hospitality of the Ranlo Church of God and certainly your pastor for willing to serve. That is all that I have for formal report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Black. Initiated by fire already. All right, I would like to propose maybe a motion for adjournment.
I have a comment.
Oh, you have a.
It says your commissioners.
Okay. Step up to the plate. Any commissioner have anything?
I do. In light of the difficult political and environmental challenges the town has faced over the last 6 months, I would like to recommend a gesture of thanks to all the employees who have stepped up, affirmed their loyalty, and remained committed to the town of Ranlo. As some employees chose to leave, others chose to stay, and I believe that we, the board, should recognize and show appreciation for their actions. Not only has the town been short-staffed due to the departure of former employees have tirelessly worked in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic to continue to provide services without fail. In light of these actions, I'd like to recommend that we approve a one-time appreciation bonus to Jason Green for $2,000, $1,000 each for Jimmy Lunsford, Brian Holland, and CJ Harper, and $500 for all other employees. This will equate to roughly $16,000 and affirm the board's appreciation, approval, and recognition of the stellar workforce that we have here in the town. Now, this money is already covered by staff departures whose jobs have not been filled. So we have the money in the budget as it exists. No money will need to be allocated any further.
Do we have any action on that statement? Make a motion to approve?
Didn't we just give some of our employees a big bonus,
No, they
Money?
got their normal raises.
normal raises?
It's
I
raises.
know our clerks got about $5,000 raise,
That brought them to average.
and they got paid for their 40 hours working, even though they worked 20 hours. I mean, I'm not against it, I'm just saying, I think that they've done good, but I think we've stood behind them and done good for them.
I think this is a good faith effort on our part to show that we appreciate our employees.
If I can, I reiterate those numbers since we're at 2,000 for Mr. Green, 1,000 for, Lunsford, 1,000 for, Brian, 1,000 for CJ. And then your recommendation was 500 for all other remaining town employees.
Do we know the amount has been saved in salaries?
Yes, with the vacant finance director position, we've been saving at least $16,000. Not to mention the recreation director position, which is still open, as well as we have, two $10 an hour inmates who have not worked for the past 2 months almost.
$10 an hour?
Yes.
What about the 6-month severance package? Take that into consideration.
I mean, that's already been taken.
All right, have you making the motion, or you asking for somebody to make a motion? You make the motion, we have a second.
I'll say.
We have a second. All in favor? Three. All-
Mayor, I'd like to abstain.
Have one abstain, and
Saying too.
we have another abstain. So it carries from 3 to 2 abstentions. Majority rules. All right, so carried. Any other?
I have a question I guess for clarification, about if opening of after COVID and our scheduled Milltown night was coming to mind. If we continue to schedule this, when do we need to start planning that for that event?
Well, that was one thing I asked earlier, I'd like some comments from the board of when do we need to start, planning? I know things been canceled for May, I just don't know about June, and still don't know about June.
Right. And that's where your
It's gonna
question.
take a good month to plan for it, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
And
When would we enter phase 2 of assuming everything goes to plan?
if I'm not mistaken, it's maybe 2 weeks after phase 1 is began, that phase 2 would begin. So I would think mid to late May.
And then how many weeks does phase 2 last?
I mean, it's a similar period of time. I think that if everything went according to plan, and don't quote me on these figures, that the governor was looking around early to mid-June.
Do we want to plan something for June? Not knowing now.
It's hard.
Are we going to peak? Are we going to flat line?
I'm thinking if we plan something and then we put measures in place in case we
We're
can.
talking about getting vendors and,
Maybe plan something small and, just nothing elaborate to where, we would have to cancel vendors.
Yeah, I wouldn't want nothing.
I would think
set
that
in stone.
anything that we can, anything that we can easily cancel,
Nothing
Do it
committed.
in-house if we can.
or at least with the understanding, if we do enter into a contract with anybody, that, if we have to cancel it because of this, there's
Sure.
not
I
gonna
just
be
don't wanna say, hey,
financial
we're
loss
open
for
for
us.
business and then we have an event scheduled that we ain't even paying for it.
Maybe we could plan like a small opening of the playground and splash pad without any type of vendors per se, and then plan for a big 4th of July event that we could have as the first larger event that we have coming. That way we can maybe schedule something mid-June for the splash pad reopening and then.
What do we usually do in June?
school's out.
School's out.
Usually it's kid, youth,
Good things
honoring
like that.
them. And we normally give them slushies and something like that, splash pad. Of course, we usually open the splash pad in May. What I'd like to do, if we're gonna do something in June, I'd like to sort of carry over May to June with senior bingo and stuff, since we didn't get to do it in May. Which would be easily
I'm sorry.
canceled. Go ahead.
Will Public Works, are they gonna be given more funding to help with the, disinfecting, wiping things down, sterilization, whatever you have to do with this COVID-19 as far as the parks? Will they need more funding to have, what they need to use
I had planned to increase the supplies that we had for sanitation, particularly after I talked to Senator Harrington today, because one of the biggest expenditures that we can use that money for is for cleaning supplies. And once we get some more clear guidance on how the county's going to allocate that, it may be that we can buy that bleach, buy that disinfectant now, and then keep very detailed records to receive reimbursement from the county.
You're talking about monetary, aren't you? Are you talking about monetary?
Well, no, I'm just thinking that, for everything to go back to normal, we have to wipe down, clean, make sure everything.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know if Public Works had the funding,
The fund.
had the money to buy those supplies.
Or
They have,
even find the supplies.
Mr. Green has bought in bulk, there's a company in Cherville that makes, cleaning supplies, disinfectant, he bought in gallon bulk, so it's they can put it in backpack sprayers and spray down the playgrounds and stuff. That's what they've been doing before we shut the parks down.
And what we can do, we'll get what we need, and then if it runs over any type of budget line item, I'll bring that to a budget amendment to the board in June.
And the other thing is, I saw in the paper today, and I don't know, something about Kowalski's disease is hitting children 2 years to 15 years.
Yeah.
Something like that we need to, keep an eye out on too.
We'll certainly monitor that.
Don't know whether it's coming from coronavirus or whether this is something new. But we'll go ahead and plan for, June, we'll go down night, get some music.
Third Thursday, third Friday.
I think Mr. Blanton's recommendation is that we just do a park opening and a splash pad opening, right?
That would be something low scale that we wouldn't have a high risk of. It's impossible to really say this is not what we're gonna do.
So you're saying not the bingo, not the senior adults, just a splash pad?
Maybe splash pad, small reopening, and then maybe look early July for maybe senior bingo and maybe have a bigger event than normal in 4th of July with a.
We usually do the 4th of July, the fireworks and all that on Milltown night, which is not the 4th, but the Milltown night.
And I'm sorry, that's the third
Second, third.
third Friday, third
I
Thursday.
think we
Friday,
planned for
Friday
it on
night.
the 17th, Friday night.
Something like that.
Can I have a suggestion? I think it'd be pretty cool if we had a banner to go across Spencer Mountain Road, recognizing the high school graduates here in Ranlo.
I don't have it in my budget.
Would be,
My budget's been cut, so
how does the Christmas banner work? That goes across Spencer Mountain Road through here?
across the Warwick,
Okay, okay.
I'll hang it for free.
$700-800.
I thought that was something cool.
Yeah.
Since they didn't have opportunity to.
I think y'all can graduate even if it's in July. Y'all can have a graduation.
Yeah.
That's something you never get to do again is graduate from high school.
I can certainly look into that, Mr. Connor, since it's the board, we'll make that happen.
Do what?
So unless you want to go back to high school.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Let me just say this, if we're gonna do this, if we go back through phase 2 and everything's okay, then you want to open the park, the splash pad the 1st of June instead of waiting till the,
Ideally, that would be wonderful.
Play it by ear, won't
We'll play it by ear, and I'll tell you what we'll do, once we get some direction from the governor's office, get through phase 1, I'll submit a detailed report to all of you on a suggested plan of action, and if that's okay, there's no.
would we know then maybe before the water bill goes out? Because normally, that's what we do is put something in the water bill to announce it to the whole town.
Right.
The splash pad
If we enter phase 2 on May 22nd,
won't be time.
then there should be more than enough time.
Well, it goes out like the 28th.
It usually goes out right around the 30th.
Towards the end of the month.
28th or 29th, I thought.
A week or, that'd give us roughly a week to get things
Well,
adjusted
Beth always said 28th or 29th, that would give them time to make up the flyer,
to
to
the print.
print it, to put it in the water bill.
If all possible, we will plan for an interview, and if not, I'll bring it back to you all, some informal consensus of individual calls and what we can or what the governor's recommending, what we can face.
Yeah.
too. But that's what we're planning for now.
All right. All minds clear? I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make such a motion.
I have a second on that.
I'll second.
All in favor to adjourn? This meeting's now adjourned.
Just in the church,
Elaine,
Cold John.
minutes good.
I told Jonathan, I thought she was preaching, but